Number 10, Lacey Ellis. Number 16, he said fire. Number 21, Walter Lloyd. Number 22, Joshua Espinosa. Number 27, Joseph Johnson. Number 28, Braylon Bear. Number 30, Levi Yeager. Number 32, Cassidy Webster. Number 34, Josh Bowie. Number 44, Arsene Francois. Number 52, David Martin. Number 57, Aiden Drosky. Number 71, Elijah Robinson. Number 72, Luke Wilson. Number 77, Jordan the Wind. Number 80, Nicholas Hayes. And number 88, Nicholas McCrank. Head coach for the White Rock Knights, Felix Hale. Assistant coaches, Verinder Dillon, Lucas Peter McCrank, David Espinosa, and Vinny Joshi. Manager Melissa Powell. Make some noise for the Titans.
Are things better or worse the second time around? Can we really do anything more than once?
And while we're waiting for the host of Nanaimo Seahawks tonight, we'll remind everybody if you have a cumulative 50-50 going on this weekend, hit out one of those QR codes. The last I saw, Paul was over $2,600. I'd also like to thank Urban Valley Team, pop-up shop, or swing by the website, memory just weekend. And introducing your home team, the Nanaimo Seahawks. We have number 3, Jacob Gregory. Number 7, Brock Samar. Number 8, Brady Stoll. Number 11, Will Lindsay. Number 14, Emil Benson. Number 15, Dave Bramble. Number 16, Nat Leslie. Number 17, Lucas Bramble. Number 20, Jacqueline Lane. Number 21, Peter Placat. Number 22, Laird Ryan. Number 25, Ben Stahl. Number 26, Cooper Abney. Number 27, River Casoan. Number 29, Ethan Murphy. Number 33, Tyler Fine-Bjornsen. Number 44, Seth Southern. Number 53, James Bart. Number 57, Nick Spalding. Number 64, Charlie Harris. Number 66, Tyler Minton. Number 88, Alex Sembelis. Number 90, Ron McKay. coaches, Jason Seawright, Alex Williams, Jeremy Chang, manager Colton Dorff, and trainer Jamie Holland. Let's hear it for the Seahawks. Your officiating crew for the Bantam 9-man championship. Head ref Mark Montana. Umpire Matt Hickory. Down judge Deepak Sharma. Line judge Danny Bennett. Side judge DeLoy. Back judge Hans Vanderow. And timekeeper David Farmillo. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that the Football British Columbia Provincial Championships take place on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, including the Esquimalt, Songhees, Beecher Bay, Sanik, and Sanik peoples represented by the Tartslip, Pauquachin, Settle, Sakam, and Malahat. We thank the Coast Salish who continue to live on these lands and care for them, along with the waters and all that is above and below. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I would ask you to please rise for a special ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, football is the ultimate family sport. Not only does it teach us to work together to achieve success and form lifelong bonds, but also allows us to form a brotherhood that is unique in sport. The moment a player puts on a pair of shoulder pads and straps into a helmet, they join a larger family, the football family. As you may be aware, we recently lost a member of our family. Rowan Hamilton, North Surrey minor football alumni and perennial big brother to players of all ages, passed away, taken from us all too soon. I would now ask that you please join us in a moment of silence as we remember Rowan and support our family in black and yellow. Thank you very much. I would ask that you please remain standing and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Makes these players stronger. I'd like to thank the Football British Columbia volunteers that come together to make these events happen. And of course our hosts, Langford, City of Langford, Victor, and the Greater Victoria Football Association.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Starlight Stadium here in Langford, BC. The lights are on as we are here for the Bantam 9-man Provincial Championship between Football Nanaimo and the White Rock Titans. Sean, game number 3 of the day 1 in our BC Football Provincial Championship weekend. How are we feeling?
Feeling good. I think we're both kind of hoping that this one will be a battle. We had a couple blowouts in the first 2 games, but I think I've watched Football Nanaimo play a game or 2 this year. I'm excited to see this White Rock team, but definitely a lot of storylines coming into this game.
Yeah, speaking about those storylines, let's maybe start with the home side. That's going to be the Seahawks in white. What are some main storylines going into this one for you?
I think just some of the challenges they've had all year. They've had multiple different head coaches, multiple different coordinators. Coach leave mid-season, and they've kind of found this group here at the end of Kevin Crampel being the head coach and a couple of really good assistants to kind of add some stability to this team. So we'll kind of see how that will impact today. But this Football Nanaimo team beat White Rock by a combined 90 or 100 points in the 2 games they played. So I think White Rock's going to feel a little bit more confident in this game after their last couple of wins. But Football Nanaimo said this White Rock team looks a lot different this game, than they did the previous 2 games.
Yeah, speaking about that White Rock team, we were just speaking with Coach Felix there moments ago. What do you think his message to his group was before they took the field here today?
It was fast and physical. That was his big thing. It looks like they've got some good coaches on that side. Felix has been here with White Rock since 2018. Their defensive coordinator played for the Langley Rams. He's been coaching since 2022. Their wide receiver coach, special teams coordinator, played youth sports at McGill. So they've got a pretty strong group of coaches over there. So we'll see how kind of the stability versus maybe a team like Football Nanaimo that's built on true talent will kind of impact today.
We're going to have the Nanaimo Seahawks kick off, working right to left. The White Rock Titans will receive and be going from the left to the right. Will Lindsay has the ball teed up and will be kicking off.
Yeah, looks like
it's going to be number 8 for the White Rock Titans.
Diaz Paquette.
He makes it up to the 25-yard line. And he's met by a gang of Seahawk defenders.
Yeah, it's a really great tackle by Grady Strobel there. That's Grady, who's kind of been a lockdown corner for Football Nanaimo. He can tackle, he can make plays on the ball. Football Nanaimo is very high on him, so expect him to have a big day at corner.
Going to be the White Rock Titans in their double blue uniforms with the white helmets. Nanaimo in the white jerseys with navy blue pants. The number 16, Fayez, in the gun. He takes the snap. Flags fly on both ends. Screen to the running back. He's able to pick up a few yards.
Yeah, that's Caden Katnich Hanna there. And, that Caden kid, he's been one of the strongest players on this team. 5 TDs versus Cloverdale. He played for U16 Team BC, and it's going to be, if I'm Football Nanaimo, I'm focusing on him this game.
The penalty looks to be backing up the Nanaimo Seahawks defense. It's offside.
Football Nanaimo did say that, they feel like they have kind of a nervous team. So, they thought they might be a little bit of a slow start, and you can see that with that offside.
White Rock bringing a man in motion from left to right. They're going to throw it to him. Little bubble screen. He stops his feet, cuts upfield, makes the defender miss. Maybe makes it back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 72, Luke Wilson, Kiernoff there. You don't see 72 at a receiver very often unless you're like Kieran Passan or Aiden Eberhard on the Lions, which they like to make their rookies wear that.
And even in, kind of a team where they don't have, 50 guys on the roster. So I would imagine there's probably some eligible numbers available. Maybe that's maybe a sentimental or maybe favorite number or maybe birth year of the parents or something like that. So very interesting and unique indeed. White Rock Titans now, second and short, They give it to the running back, but he's met in the backfield and maybe able to pick up a yard. I don't believe much more than that.
Yeah, Ben Stahl there with the tackle. I think Ben Stahl is going to be one of the best players on this Football Nanaimo team. Him and Will Lindsay. Ben, he has a running style as a running back like Adrian Peterson. He runs all day, and Will Lindsay's back there punt returning here, but it will be interesting to see if they do punt it. Looks like they're lining up to go for it.
Paez in the gun, trips to his right side, barking out some signals. Gets a snap, he drops the snap. It's picked up by Paez, but it's third down. It's going to be a turnover on downs, and Seahawks are going to take over possession of the football inside the White Rock Titans 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's kind of worst case scenario here to start like this for White Rock. You're now backed up on your own 30-yard line against a football Nanaimo team that has beaten everyone they've played this year, right? So, you want to play the field position game if you're White Rock. Looks like they're starting a too high safety shell with 2 safeties back there. Come down to a 1 safety shell there.
Number 7, Brock Simard. Under center, the ball's low.
Yeah, Brock Simard there at quarterback. Interesting. I think both these teams look very nervous right now. Very jittery. Where they're not making the easy plays.
They can definitely feel the stakes of this one. A championship football game. Both teams trying to settle in here early on.
Offside. Defense.
Brock jogging over to the sideline to get the play call from offensive coordinator Jeremy Chang. It's going to be offside defense, the second call we've seen here today.
Yeah, White Rock's going to have to key on number 11, Will Lindsay. He was in the Bantam Championship last year versus Langley. He was an absolute menace, catching some big touchdowns all over the place. And, currently, Brock Simard under center.
Brock awaiting the snap. He gets the snap. The give is to the back, but he's met after a short gain. Gang tackle there, but number 8 was one of the Braden Despacat.
Yeah, Braden Diaz-Paquette, he's been early and often right now in this game making plays, so definitely someone to watch defensively at that linebacker position.
Second down, 6 yards to go for the Seahawks offense. They send out trips right.
Will Lindsay at the Z position out there.
A lot of space for him to work. Brock going to tuck the ball and run. Got a lot of space in front of him. He's going to pick up a first down. I think it was just outside the 10-yard line, so it's going to be able. The Seahawks will be able to pick up another first down before scoring.
Yeah, I would. Brock Simard is definitely not your typical quarterback build. He's very dense, very thick. It's definitely hard to bring down, and I think that could be a factor in today's game.
Seahawks scrimmaging from the White Rock 11-yard line, looking to put up the first points in this Bantam championship game. Brock in the gun once again. Ben to his right, trips to the left. The fake is to Ben. He has a receiver wide open. He overthrows him though. Had number 3, Jacob Gregory, open and would have been a touchdown.
Looking like Josh Allen on that short yardage, eh?
A little bit too ramped up, I guess, and had his receiver open. Would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, had number 3 there streaking open. Again, Jacob Gregory out there. Those are plays in this championship game you have to make. Here we go, second and long here from the 11-yard line. So Football Nanaimo does have an opportunity to get a first down if they get to the 1.
They send trips right. They got actually Ben in the slot over there. Brock awaits the snap. He takes the snap, looking for Ben. He has it, but tackled after a very short gain.
Yeah, that looks like Luke Wilson, Kurnoff again there, making a tackle. So again, another this White Rock team. They've got a few guys that are playing both ways. Huge 3rd and 9.
As I mentioned, in this part of the field, you're definitely going to go for it right here, but the Seahawks can pick up a first down. It would be at the 1-yard line if they don't score, but essentially having to get in the end zone here, or it's going to be a turnover on downs.
Will Lindsay in the slot. This says corner route written all over it.
Brock. He tucks it. He's looking for the end zone.
I don't think he has enough.
No, he's going to be brought down. Looked like he actually looked to pull the trigger, and the ball he lost the grip of the ball. Or it might have been on purpose, but the Seahawks are going to stall and turn over the ball on down inside the 5-yard line. and surrender points on the football field. Huge hold by that Titans defense, and they're going to take over on a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, Braylon Baird getting the pressure there, number 28. Their coaches said jackrabbit speed there. Even from the defensive end, or he came from inside there, a smaller kid, but again, sometimes the smaller athletes are harder for bigger offensive line to handle.
Brock trying to fight for the goal line, but is stopped short. Ball is handed off. Able to pick up pretty decent gain there on first down. Looked to be 6 yards.
Yeah, just talking about Braylon Baird there again. He was playing D-tackle on that defensive stop or D-end. Now he's running the ball. Right, this White Rock team has a lot of guys that play both ways. Great hit there by Will Lindsay. Declan Lane at free safety. They're in a one-high free safety set. Looks like those corners might be in man coverage.
Joe Seed awaiting the snap. Hands the ball off to his tailback. He bounces it out left. There's a lot of space out there to work with. He turns the corner and then some. Number 28, Braylon Baird, doing it on both sides for the White Rock Titans. Didn't really have anything initially. Kind of got some penetration from that Seahawks defense. He bounces it to the left and is able to turn the corner.
Yeah, I think if you are football Nanaimo, I think you're looking at some of the strengths of your defense is your pass rush and your pass defense. You're going to want to play the run on early downs, force this White Rock team to throw.
Yo Seed, number 16, quarterback for the Titans, in the gun once again. And he's going to be brought down. Didn't catch the number. Was that number 21?
Yeah, it looked like he was in on
Walter Lai with the huge quarterback sack. That's going to back them up into almost a 2nd and 20. Might be a 2nd and 17.
Yeah, I think Ethan Murphy was in there as well. And I'd look for football now to be very aggressive defensively. Send the house like we talked about. If White Rock wants to run on early downs, send the house. Get after them. Force Faez to throw it over the top.
I wonder if we see some sort of screen or bubble screen. We've seen that a few times here today, kind of in some of the game plan for the Titans. They do pass. Looking downfield. He's going to be brought down again. Back-to-back sacks. That's Ben. And it's going to be 3rd down, and the White Rock Titans will be punting once again. Yeah,
Ben Stahl coming off that defensive end position. He's going to be one of the fastest, most aggressive players on this field today. And again, he just runs right past 57 there. Caden Rutsky is going to have a big day at offensive tackle blocking Ben Stahl, so it'll be interesting to see how they go.
Katnich Hanna into punt.
Yeah, football now with an interesting punt return formation here with 2 back and 1.
Ooh, and not a great one for Katnich Hanna.
Football Nanaimo is going to start over some great field position.
Yeah.
Right at the 17-yard line going in. They have to capitalize. You can't get in the red zone and come away with no points again.
Unfortunately for the Titans, that one went higher than it did farther.
You know, we're seeing a game of field position here where football now has been in this end the whole time. And White Rock, you know, if you're going to win this game, you can't have punts like that. You got to get a couple first downs, flip the field. White Rock showing an aggressive front here.
Simmered. Under center. The give, but he's met. At number 4, that's Isaac Powell. He brings down the Seahawk ball carrier.
Yeah, this White Rock front has done a great job so far, getting pressure, defending the run.
This Titans defense just came into play, Sean. They're ready to go here today for sure.
Yeah, they are, and they've been backs against the wall here in the first quarter, and if they can come away again holding football now with no points, I'd like to see Brock attack the field here. You got some great receivers outside.
Will Lindsay one-on-one. Brock's looking that way. He goes back to the left, throwing a corner route to Ben. Able to drop in the bucket. Touchdown, Seahawks. Fabulous pass.
You know, we talked about that smash concept, the corner by the slots on that first drive. They didn't go to it then, but here they went double smash, corners by both slots, and when you've got Will Lindsay and Ben Stahl on either side, if you got man coverage, it's just pick your poison at that point for Brock Samard.
Yeah, you can see the attention to Will Lindsay there on the replay, getting that double team, freeing up Ben Stahl on the backside to be one-on-one in that corner route. Had a lot of space.
For White Rock now, it's about resetting. Another great kick by Will Lindsay. Looks like
that almost went to the upper deck of the end zone section there. As you see a few of the kids there fishing the football out. But that's another extra point. It is of the 1-point variety. A reminder, folks, this is where it changes from that extra point being a 2-point kick to a 1-point kick now. So it'll be 7-0 Seahawks. White Rock Titans, though, can't be too mad. I mean, defensively, they've been slugging it back and forth here early on with the Seahawks. Unfortunately for them, they were the victims of some bad field position there.
Yeah, I think White Rock, if they want to win this game, they're going to have to be able to run the ball, and they got to win special teams. So, I think this kick return is going to be a big opportunity for them to get some field position, get a couple first downs, flip the field, gain control back of this game.
Will Lindsay with the ball teed up once again. Ball is off. Caught by the Titans returner. And he's going to bring it out to just past the 30-yard line. Des Paquette.
Yeah, Football Nanaimo's done a great job so far on special teams. Looked like Kyler's Vine Bjornsson with the tackle there on special teams. And there's a lot of athletes on this Seahawks team that it really translates itself down in the depth with special teams.
Wow, Sean. Gotta give you props once again for trying that name. Is that number 8 that's down?
Can see. Yeah, that's number 8. It's Grady Strobel. We talked about him in that corner position and him having a big spot here. So, even similar to that last game, if I was an offensive coordinator, which I never have been, so can't speak from experience other than I think some 11-year-old flag, I'm going right after the new corner that's coming in. See what they're like, because when you're in high school teams, there's not a lot of depth throughout the roster. So as soon as you lose a starter like Grady Strobel and you bring in a depth corner, I'd like to see what their skill level is right away.
Yeah, and he looks to be in quite a bit of discomfort down there on the field, so I would imagine no immediate return. The Seahawks will have to adjust. You can see some of their coaches over there talking through what the game plan could be. Strobel being one of their key contributors on defense.
Yeah, I think White Rock, they've had some interesting motions. A little bit of the orbit motion, bringing that receiver all the way back behind to get a screen out there for him. So they're going to bring in some creativity this game. They're going to have to run the ball, though. Like they're going to have to follow those hogs up front, because I just don't think you're going to be able to sit back. You've got Ben Stahl, who we've talked about at defensive end, Alex Zembeliz at defensive end as well. He's got a bench of 235 pounds at 14 years old, and he's been one of the best edge rushers in the league, and the coaches say that he shows up to practice no matter what weather in a wife beater and shorts. That's some Rob Stevenson lore there. No care about the weather at all.
Especially considering the weather the last few weeks here. It's been miserable, at least up in Nanaimo, so you can tell the kind of character from that kid for sure.
You see Braden Diaz-Paquette out here. He's been a big part of White Rock. He's had multiple interceptions at DB, including 3 pick sixes, and he'll play any position that these coaches ask. So look for him and number 2 there, Caden, to really be big parts here on this drive here for White Rock.
Here's our first chance to remind folks that they can purchase 50/50 tickets here on tonight's broadcast by visiting rafflebox.ca/raffle/footballbc as the White Rock Titans await the snap. Yoseed once again, the give us his deep back. He's able to get a pretty decent game there when he's almost met in the backfield.
Yeah, I love that play call. Like we just talked about their defensive ends who are going to be very aggressive, and how do you defeat aggressive DNs, get counter, trap. Some of these plays where it's a little bit long developing, and you can create some leverage with the offensive line.
It almost kind of worked against Football Nanaimo there, how they rushed so aggressively upfield and opened up that hole for Catch Hannah take advantage.
Yeah, it looks like they moved Declan Lane, their free safety, out there to corner.
Yossi looking downfield. He has a man. He's able to find him. Throws him for the first down. That's number 22, Joseph Espinoza.
Yeah, it does not look like, you know, the great throw by Fayez. You know, looks like they're going to want to hit the short game. I don't think they're going to want to drop back and throw the ball deep. You know, he just flicked that one in there short. Nice throw, nice catch.
Yeah, very calm, cool and collected there from Yossi. Number 16, the quarterback for the White Rock Titans.
Yeah, Wilson Kouronoff there with another great catch. Football now going after him on the jump.
Looked like it was the right tackle there for the Titans, number 57, who jumped offside.
Yeah, Caden Rutsky there.
Number 57, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Yeah, we talked about field position here and want to stay on schedule for White Rock, right? If you want to try to run the ball and you're not going to take deep shots, you can't be going backwards. You need 3-4 yard chunks, stay ahead of the schedule of the chains.
It's going to be 1st and 15 now. White Rock with the football.
Again, no safety back there for football Nanaimo, so if you were able to do some max protect, you would have one-on-one coverage downfield if you trust your receivers.
Yossi awaiting the snap in the gun now.
Football Nanaimo showing pressure.
Yossi looking for anybody downfield. He's going to tuck it and run, but he's going to be brought down after a few yards gained. I believe it was number 25. Might have been Ben Stahl who was in on the tackle.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to set up a deep shot there. I just don't think Yossi Fayez feels comfortable sitting back there with this pass rush by football Nanaimo.
It's also a pretty aggressive front and look pre-snap from that Seahawks team when they're lining up their linebackers near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I like that look by football Nanaimo. Really, you know, start to make Fayez think, are we coming? Are we going to drop back? You know, don't keep them guessing. Don't make them comfortable.
Yossi Fayez in the gun. He gets the snap. He's going to flick it out to Catch Hannah. Catch Hannah's going to be brought down by Stahl. It's going to be a loss. It's going to bring up 3rd down now here for the White Rock Titans.
Yeah, Ben Stahl's all over the place right now. I would try to stay away from him, but that's the thing. You drop back and pass and go the other way, he's going to come right off the edge. But he sniffs that out, that swing pass, and gets for a loss there. So huge opportunity for football Nanaimo to have good field position and get ahead early.
I don't mind the idea from the Titans there. I just think it's an unfortunate one that if you do throw behind your line of scrimmage like that, if you don't execute it properly, it can be a loss like that. So
yeah,
the Titans are going to bring out their punting unit here on 3rd and long.
Totally, especially when you're going to Ben Stahl's side too. It'd be nice to almost chip him with another receiver, get some misdirection.
I believe that hit the returner for the Seahawks. If anybody from the Titans can get down there, no. But Will Lindsay gets on the ball, and he's brought down. Terrific open field tackle there by Isaac Powles.
Yeah, Isaac Powell's captain of the team, great downhill tackler. Right, he plays the Sam linebacker position for White Rock. That's exactly what we talked about with White Rock. You got to flip the field, so that's a huge break for them. Defense needs to stand tall, create a short field for this White Rock offense.
Terrific job there, getting down the field. Looks like we are through 12 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Reminder that you guys can purchase 50/50 from the comfort of your very own home by visiting rafflebox.ca/raffle/footballbc. Our last known update, last game, was a pot of $2,400. Last year, it was able to get up to nearly $10,000. Reminder, you guys can purchase our 50/50 not only for a game-by-game basis, it is all weekend. So even after you go home tonight and you're sitting at home, you want to purchase 50/50, you guys can visit rafflebox.ca/raffle/footballbc.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to see White Rock bring some pressure. You know, don't let Brock be able to sit back there and just let the ball go deep.
Brock in the gun.
It's like White Rock playing man coverage.
A lot of motions, giving Ben Stahl the ball with blockers in front of him. Good job by the Titans defenders being able to kind of fight through the blocks and bring down the ball carrier after a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Wilson Kurnoff. And this White Rock team has shown that they have a strong ability to tackle. Just can you generate a pass rush and cover these receivers deep? So I really like that motion there by Football Nanaimo to create some leverage outside.
Offensive coordinator Jeremy Chang doing a great job of putting his team in the right positions here. Bringing up a 2nd down.
Trips to the field. I think it's going to be a false start.
The give is to the tailback. I believe that's Peter Plekis.
Yeah, Peter Plekis, I think kind of like a fullback type, AJ Ouellette type style running back. Just trying to get downhill and be physical, and a really nice 1-2 punch with him and Ben Stahl.
Defense.
Going to be procedure on the defense.
Yeah, so they called that one offside. Looks like defense moved, and then kind of the offensive tackle there reacted off of that. As Football Nanaimo sets up another trips here. Expect them to kind of do some more motion, create some misdirection.
Brock in the gun. 3 receivers to his right. Can get out to Ben Stahl with a lot of room in the open field. Makes the defender miss after picking up the 1st down. He's escorted out of bounds there by Braden Des Paquette.
Yeah, another nice creative play call there by Football Nanaimo offense, creating leverage and leaking Ben outside. Just trying to get their athletes the ball out in space. Again, White Rock has to get defensive stops if they want to win this game. They cannot let Football Nanaimo drive down the field and control the game.
Let's go, boys!
The Seahawks in the gun once again. Looks like they got somebody to jump. It might be a free play. Brock understands he can throw it up. He's going to tuck it and run. Breaks a couple tackles. They might take the gain of the play rather than the penalty here.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd rather just see Brock throw that ball up, but he saw a window and he just took it. And like we talked about, he's not a traditional quarterback. He can get out and run. He's physical. Got that sideline fired up there.
It is on the Titans. Penalty is declined.
Yeah, that's going to fun Football Nanaimo. I'm going to continue to go on too, or continue to find ways to get White Rock to jump offside.
Seahawks bring in 2 men in motion. And the Seahawks running back running very hard.
Yeah, Peter Polakis again. There was a big hole there. Again, with misdirection and motion, Football Nanaimo is creating some big lanes here. They're actually basically running a counter play, but using the receivers, the first receiver to kick out the end, and using the second receiver to kind of loop underneath. And they're creating a ton of leverage in space using these receivers in creative ways.
Brock waiting to snap once again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, running the exact same play. It'll be interesting to see how White Rock adjusts. Again, just using the receivers to be the lead blockers. I mean, when you've got Ben Stahl and, even number 3 out there, Jacob Gregory, those are some pretty physical receivers that you can trust to lead block.
Peter coming out of the game now, getting some substitutions into this Seahawks offense. You could see Coach Jeremy Chang fired up on that Seahawks sideline, sending in some of the plays. I wouldn't be surprised if they go right back to it. Brock awaiting the snap. Going to roll right. Looking for anybody down the field. He's going to tuck it and run. Pick up a 1st down, Seahawks.
Yeah, it's a good second and short call. I'd like to see Brock try to feel a little bit more comfortable in the pocket, potentially try and take a shot. But again, he's just taking what the defense has given him and converting the chains and being a very physical quarterback at this point.
As you mentioned, He's a load to bring down for the defense. Very stocky build for the quarterback of the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep trying to run the ball and then be ready to take a shot deep again. Same thing like that they hit the red zone last time.
Brock awaiting the snap. Looking left, looking left. Ball's batting down.
Yeah, there's Kate of Kanichana again making a big play, and that's their biggest playmaker on the team. Their coach was one of their short list guys that they talked about. So expect him to make big plays today. And 2nd and 10 here for football in Nanaimo. White Rock has to convert this defensively.
Yeah, Kanichana, for my money, has been the Titans' best player here early on.
Yeah, him and Baird. I'd like to see them use these athletes and get after Brock Samard here. Trips to the field.
Smart. Awaiting the snap in the gun. Tailback to his left. He's looking left, and the ball is going to be behind his intended receiver. He did have him, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 9, or it looks like 10 to go.
Yeah, you know, you're getting cover 1 man coverage from White Rock, so it looks like they're trying to hit 2 interior verticals and get Will Lindsay on that slant right behind him. It was there, just couldn't get it open.
Big down right here for both teams. If White Rock can find a way to get off the field once again in the red zone and keep the Seahawks off the board, that would be massive. And if the Seahawks can extend this drive.
Yeah, it looks like a timeout here by White Rock. Wanted to talk about it. I might just go right back to the play that converted to a touchdown earlier. With the double corners there by Will and Ben. And again, just especially if White Rock's going to sit back and play cover 1, safety in the middle, Brock can kind of just look off the safety one way and then go back the other way to either Will or Saul. I'm interested to see if White Rock has an all-out blitz in their bag, because this would be a great time to come after him. 3rd and 10. Don't allow Brock to sit back and throw that ball downfield.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the amount of weapons that this Seahawks team has, this would be a massive win once again if they're able to hold them and get off the field and keep them off the scoreboard twice in this first half in scoring territory.
Their trips to the field to Brock's left.
Brock, looking, a lot of space, and he's going to score. It's going to be a touchdown, Seahawks on 3rd down. Terrific job there by Brock. Nothing down the field. He ends up tucking and running and scoring a touchdown off the left side.
Yeah, it looks like there's a flag on the play. It was after the touchdown, so it should be put onto the kickoff. And again, White Rock just can't generate any pass rush right now. You know, if basically at this point, if guys aren't open downfield, Brock's out all day out there to run the ball.
And Brock was fired up after that one, rightfully so. As you can see here on a replay, looking down the field, can't find anybody. He ends up tucking it off the left side of his offensive line and scampering it into the end zone.
Offense number 7. Penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
Objectional conduct is what I believe I heard on the field.
Yeah, Brock Samard, their quarterback, and you know I think they've got a lot of rules right now around celebrating. So it could have been spiking the ball or some form of celebration there, and it'll give the White Rock, should give them better field position here on the kick return.
I believe that was actually missed, and it's going to be a ruse. I believe the referee held up a 1 instead of giving the field goal as good.
So, you know, if you're White Rock here down 14-0, not where you want it to be coming into this game as the underdog, you know, I think just defensive coordinator there, Dillon's got to do some serious reflecting, because they've had white football in Nanaimo on 3rd and long a couple times in the red zone. I think you just got to dial up something to get after Smart.
Still a lot of time to go, right? 7 minutes to go in this first half. The Titans desperately need to put together something offensively here, though, as the Seahawks offense has almost been able to do whatever they want here early on. Will Lindsay with the boot. Titans returner gets it with a lot of head of steam, and he's going to bring it out past midfield. Looks like it's going to be on the 53-yard line of the Seahawks. This is a massive opportunity here for the Titans to take advantage of this field position.
Yeah, that was Barrett on the kick return, one of their better players there. He's been running the ball well today. For White Rocks, it's just send up Fayez with some easy completions, right? We haven't seen them try to push the ball downfield at all today. It doesn't feel like it's part of their identity. So, if you can't push the ball downfield, you got to dominate the run game. See some more creative counters, traps. Really start to take advantage of this aggressive D-line by Football Nanaimo.
Seed in the gun once again for the Titans offense.
Football Nanaimo will show him blitz.
Seed looking down the field. He is going to air it out. And almost brought in there. Look at Zach Dockery. A great job of being in the right position to just knock it out of his hands.
Yeah, River Kozawan there. In position, I still like that matchup there by Dockery. It was a good idea to go deep. River played that well, but, he gave your receiver a chance to go get it. So we'll see if they go right back to it.
Yep, I agree with that. I think if Yossi might have been able to get the ball out just a tad earlier as well, he might have been able to lead his receiver down the field that much more. But with that matchup and that amount of field, it's a true one-on-one matchup. Yossi once again in the gun. He's going to look downfield. Pass out to his running back with a lot of space down the field. He's going to pick up the first down and stay on his feet.
Yeah, there's Barrett again, getting him out of space, and it kind of went back to that play that they've been trying to do, the swing pass to the running back. No one goes out there with him, wide open. Huge play for White Rock, knocking on the doorstep now.
This Titans team has been fighting here early on. They just need to finish and execute when it matters down in this part of the field.
Yeah, it looks like Fayez is kind of comfortable now too. Coaching staff gave some confidence and easy completions here.
He's settled into this championship game, rightfully so. A lot of these young men probably nervous going into this one. Yossi to settle in though in the last couple throws. He's been delivering. He gave it to his tailback, and he's met by Alex Simbalese right away.
Yeah, Simbalese is a very powerful defensive end there, trying to run right at him. And now White Rock behind the sticks, 2nd and 13. No Grady Strobel still out there, corner. Would like to see Dockery come back in as White Rock takes another timeout.
Still 5 minutes to go in this second quarter. If you're the Titans, you're for sure preaching. If you're Coach Felix, come into the huddle of, we got to stay calm and cool, collected here, fellas. We have everything right in front of us. We got to cash in here on a crucial second down. I think obviously at this part of the field, you're going to go for it on third down. So if they can get a chunk here on second down, set themselves up into a very manageable situation, and got to come away with points in this drive here.
Yeah, I'd like to see on their very first play, they ran a screen pass. Would like to see them go back to some screen and some misdirection. I just don't think they're going to be able to go mano-a-mano with this O-line on this Football Nanaimo D-line. So really try to get their athletes out of space because they have some very good running backs that in space are very dynamic. But it's how can their head coach Felix draw it up to get them out there in space. Again, it feels like I'd really like to see Dockery back in there. He had great effort on that one deep ball.
Yeah, I agree. Yossi Fayez under center. Ace back behind him. Yossi, play action, gonna roll out. Look for anybody down the field. He has his receiver. Great job there by Yossi Fayez. Play was perhaps designed to go to his right. He ends up going back to his left and dropping it into the bucket of his receiver, Devontae Zabarez. And it's going to be a 3rd and 2 with a Seahawks defender down on the field.
Yeah, I'm unsure if that was a miscommunication and a misplay there.
A design throwback, perhaps? I know, because he's running the exact opposite way of his quarterback rolling out. So
yeah, it didn't look like Fayez was really expecting it that way, but it worked out, and it was a good way for Fayez to either work back to that read or to make things happen after a broken play. But Here, 3rd and short. I'd imagine they're going to go QB sneak here. Did you get a number there on who?
No, it was the defender who brought the ball carrier down. It was number 20, we're being told, Declan Lane.
Yeah, it's another DB there for Football Nanaimo, which you do not want to lose. I really hope it's not his wrist, as in our flag league up in Nanaimo, Declan Lane was, he's had some bad wrist injuries that he's been battling, so looks like he's walking off okay.
As you said, he's going to leave the field on his own power.
This has to be a QB sneak here. You know, Fias is not the biggest QB, so I'd be curious if they bring in a short yardage QB.
Massive down, though. The Titans have to find a way to move the chains.
You know, this Football Nanaimo team is pretty deep. You know, they've already lost 2 DBs, but they've got Laird Ryan, who is a serviceable corner. River calls the one out there who's played well already, pass deflection.
And it's Fayez.
You know, you'd like to see Football Nanaimo get 2 guys in those A-gaps right here, ready for this QB short yardage.
Under center. 1 tailback behind him. He's going to give it to the tailback with a lot of space. He's going to turn the corner. Will Lindsay's going to bring him down. It's Braylon Baird once again.
Yeah, Braylon Baird with a great run there. You know, they decided to go with a stretch action.
And the Seahawks got some penetration off the left side of the offensive line. Good thing for Baird, he had the play going the right side. He's able to bounce it off to the right, and he's going to bring up a fresh set of downs. It's going to be just outside the 10-yard line again, so Titans can pick up a first down if they don't score. Yosid Fayez.
Yeah, they got Ace back, the tight end to the boundary. He's off the line, expect him to come back this way.
Yosid, he gives it to Baird once again. He's going to try to bounce it. He spins. He's able to evade the defender, but then brought down by a slew of Seahawks defenders.
Looks like a gain of 5, which was a good gain. I'd like to see him follow his lead blockers a little bit and just get north-south and try to pick up 6 rather than 5 there. But
yeah, I think he had definitely the push up front was there.
But again, when you're running right at Ben Stahl's side, you got to make quick decisions. So we're about 2nd and 6 here with an opportunity to get a first down right at the half-yard line. Still no Dockery back in as they go trips to the field.
Yosid is going to throw it up to his receiver, and it's caught! Touchdown, Titans! Great job by Yosid Fayez by just giving his receiver a chance.
Yeah, Zabarez there with an incredible catch. I actually thought that might have been PI, end one through the contact. But, you know, he fought through it, came back to the ball. And, you know, we talked about Football Nanaimo losing those DBs early. And if you're White Rock, I think you keep attacking downfield. That was a huge answer to give this White Rock team more confidence here in this game.
Devontae Adams might be the best fade ball receiver going in the NFL right now. But Devontae Zabarez with that one. That was a beautiful one, putting the Titans on the board. Oh, the snap is over the holder's head. It's going to be jumped on.
Yeah, you know, Zabarez has made some big plays that drive. He had the big second down catch, big touchdown there. Expect White Rock to get these receivers involved.
Unfortunate for the Titans, they're going to be unable to get that extra point on the board. It's going to be 14-6 with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. If you're this Titans team, Sean, how do you capitalize off this energy now? We're now going defensively. They have to put all their energy towards that and try to find a way to get a stop.
Yeah, I mean, I like to bring pressure, so maybe that's just my biases here, but I just think Brock Samar's got way too much time back there. He's too comfortable throwing the ball deep to Stahl or Lindsay, and, you know, he's made a ton of plays with his legs, so I'd like to see White Rock bring some double outside pressure, really keeping Samar in the pocket and force him to sit in there and make a throw. Really work on containing him because Brock Samar's wasn't bred to be a quarterback.
And
onside.
The Titans try to go with a quick kick, and the ball is still loose. Recovered by Will Lindsay. I kind of was going to say something there as I saw the Titans kind of trying to position themselves to run onto this kick.
Yeah, I'm curious. It looked like some of the guys held up after that ball bounced. You want to just keep running through, no fear, and create havoc.
Because you never know how the ball is going to bounce. Unfortunately for the Titans, they're unable to take advantage of the aggressive play call. I do like it. It's funny you mentioned the being aggressive, Sean. I made the staple of death taxes and the Sean Arabsky defense sending pressure. I'd be curious to see here if
I think
Titans do
Nanaimo
adjust.
is going to continue running that receiver motion play here.
Ball snapped low. Give us to the tailback. A lot of space in front of him. And he's going to be brought down. There's a flag down the field.
It's downfield.
I believe it's being pointed back by Braden Despaquette.
Too many men by White Rock. That's what they're signaling. Yeah, they got 10 guys out there. So, Dockery coming off again. Kid can't catch a break.
No, Despaquette trying to sell the call for his team, pointing the other way, but it's going to go against the Titans.
You know, how is White Rock going to defend this this counter double receiver lead block here? Again, using that first receiver to kick out, having that offensive tackle to get it up to the second level, to get leverage on the linebacker, and then bringing Ben Stahl right behind to
pull up through.
To pull right through. It's gone a ton of success so far.
I think you got to match that with numbers, and you can see how far this second level of the defense is for the Titans.
Yeah, I went right back to
Ben Stahl, but great job there by Catch Hanna getting his hand on the ball.
That's the second time he's got a hand on the ball.
Catch Hanna has been a phenomenal player for this Titans team here.
You know, going back to that counter play too, your D line has to be incredibly disciplined. You know, there's two different techniques called either spilling or boxing. Where spilling, you go inside of the first polar, or boxing, you go outside and try to keep the running back inside. And you'd like to just see these DNs be a lot more aggressive. Potential double smash here again.
Brock looking deep. He's looking for Will Lindsay. It's going to be picked off! It's going to be picked off! Braden Despaquette going down the far sideline. Has blockers in front of him. Despaquette steps out of bounds. Phenomenal game-changing play by Despaquette. And he's going to give his team a first down inside the 40-yard line of the Seahawks.
You know, that was an incredible athletic play there by Despaquette. I just think Brock Samar let that ball hang out way too much through to the inside of Will Lindsay. You know, when you've got a kid like Will Lindsay who's like 6'1", 6'2", can go up and get that ball, you got to get that on the outside so he can go up and get it. That White Rock sideline is fired up after that.
You can sense the belief from this Titans team. Yosid Faez in the huddle.
Come on, defense, let's go!
Barking out the play call to his team as they approach the line of scrimmage. Faez in the gun.
You go for a shot play. They got Dockery back in there.
They might. They are dropping back to pass. Faez looking down the field. Phenomenal pass by Faez. Put it to a spot for Dockery on the little 5-step slant.
He's really good at those kind of just little flick passes. I don't like that he keeps rolling out opposite of the way that the offensive play is happening. That's a dangerous pass in the middle, but you know, he had trust in Dockery to go make a play.
Yeah, defenders everywhere around that. He put it to a little location hoping Dockery could run onto it. He did, but defenders all in the area.
24-yard line here for White Rock.
Faez hands it off to Baird. Baird bounces it off the right side, but he's met by Ben Stahl and escorted out of bounds.
I don't think there's a better defensive end duo in this league than Alex Mbeliz and Ben Stahl. They're getting incredible pressure every single play. White Rock needs to continue to do creative ways to abuse that. Again, some more counters, some more traps, maybe even a draw to let them come upfield.
Yosid Faez under center. Give us to Baird. He's trying to bounce it, but there's white jerseys all around. He's going to be actually a loss of yards. I think tackle for a loss there.
Yeah, do you have trust in your football kicker here? Be a 30-yard field goal.
Yosid Fayez in the offense staying out on the field. Catch Hannah coming into the game.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go with
For
their spread offense here.
They are. It looks like they're bringing in another receiver there.
This is where if you're Ben Stahl and you're Zembeleze, you're pinning your ears back. Football Nanaimo is either
We got
drop out.
We got Dockery in the boundary here.
He does have a height advantage here.
Yosid Fayez looking towards the sideline. He gives a little bit of a signal. Yosid Fayez looks right, looks left. He's going to throw it up. And we're going to get the pass interference call in the end zone. I don't believe it'll go to the 1. It should be a 15-yarder, but it's going to be an automatic first down for the Titans. Yosid Fayez does a good job of just giving Dockery an opportunity. It is overthrown just slightly, but giving his receiver an opportunity definitely drew the pass interference there.
Yeah, I don't love that call. I don't think it was too aggressive down at the top of the route, but one thing for River Cosmo in there is he starts out with his eyes in the backfield. He's staring at the quarterback the whole time. I feel like he's got his eyes on his man. He's able to play a little bit more disciplined there too.
That's what we got during there too.
Gets a little tug at the top.
Yeah, tough call. In a championship game, you maybe want to see the referees put the whistle away. Ultimately, it is a first and goal for the Titans.
We get some wider splits here by the O-line.
Yosid Fayez in the gun. Drops back to pass. Oh, and he looks to catch Hannah. But catch Hannah looks to wheel up the field.
Yeah, coach is yelling at catch Hannah right now. You either got to read that or he doesn't know what route he's running. But one thing interesting to note there too is with those wider splits there by that O-line, if that could be a tendency for Football Nanaimo to know when White Rock's passing.
Do you think that's maybe an adjustment from the Titans to maybe widen their splits to widen out Zembeleze and Ben Stahl there?
Yeah, it looks like they're into it again. It definitely could be, especially in this passing set. Like they've got their 4 receivers in. So,
or if they're tightly condensed, they could just allow their pass rush a little bit easier to get to Yosid Fayez. Yosid Fayez in the gun. He gets the snap, looking down the field. Yosid Fayez going to be brought down. Or Ben Stahl, a man possessed. You can see he was fired up after that one, wanted to make a play for his team. And now it's going to be 3rd and goal from what looks like just outside the 15-yard line for the Titans.
Yeah, there was some great coverage over there, especially by 21. Peter Polakis being physical in the back end. I'd like to see Fayez just sit patient in the pocket and really just get the ball out there for his playmakers to make a play because it's very hard to get the edge on Ben Stahl.
We have a timeout here by the Titans, I would imagine. Coach Felix walking into the huddle. I'm kind of a little bit surprised that Dockery's on the sideline. I believe he was on the sideline for that play there as well. I'm curious, with such a mismatch and even being able to draw the pass interference there a few plays before, I'm curious to why he wouldn't even be an option on this play. So the Titans will scrimmage from the 17-yard line on a 3rd and goal situation, having to find the end zone.
Yeah, it's probably either a fade ball or if they're going to go max protect, if we get a post corner to that field side, if Fayez can get the ball out that deep.
Fayez in the gun.
Got man coverage.
And it's caught! Fayez puts it up! I mean, it's Devontae Zabarez.
Zabarez, he is incredible through contact. Another PI there, another end one. Honestly, I'd like to see him sell that hook a little bit harder there, but man, when you get that ball up, he's winning that matchup every time right now. We talked about it as soon as those 2 DBs went down, of just the depth of this team. It's tough at this level, right? And those DBs that are in there right now, they're playing well, but when you keep going at them again and again and again, these good receivers by White Rock, they're going to get theirs as well.
And the missed conversion earlier, the Titans having to go for 2 here to try to tie things up, as it's a 14-12 Nanaimo lead pending this 2-point try for the Titans.
Yeah, I think you just do a slant and go with Zabarez here. Try to get the ball out.
We have Katana as the tailback with Fayez in the backfield.
Looks like they flipped it. Again with that tight end there off the line.
Looking at Despaquette on the slant. no flag. I think on the Titans, I'm probably more mad at that one than the one earlier for sure. There was a lot of contact, but honestly, I think that's a good no call, as the call earlier I thought was way less contact than that one right there. So I think good no call. The referee's letting the players play on the field, and it's going to be a 14-12 lead with 49 seconds to go, and the Seahawks will have possession of the ball.
Yeah, you know, if you are White Rock right now, even going into this half down 2, you are very happy considering the way the first 2 games went and the way that first quarter went.
Absolutely.
But, you know, you're not out of the woods yet. This football Nanaimo team is super explosive. You know, I bet Jeremy Chang and Kevin Crampel, head coach of football Nanaimo, was feeling like they got greedy on that last drive, trying to take a shot to their best player. You know, I just keep going that double receiver motion. White Rock has not adjusted to it. Keep letting them lead block.
The Titans with the ball on the tee.
And they've really silenced this football Nanaimo crowd as well.
They have. They've taken the home field advantage right out of this.
Gregory with the return.
And Gregory's going to be brought down by a gang of Titans defenders. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what the Seahawks are able to do with this last 40 seconds. Can they put together a drive to maybe regain momentum of this one, as the Titans will go into half with all of momentum right now? I would imagine feeling very good about themselves if they're able to get a stop, get off the field, and go into halftime down 2.
Yeah, you know, if I'm White Rock, I'm maybe not in this situation here, but I am committing to stopping the run. You know, if they do, or if they are able to throw deep, you know, we got to be able to get after Brock Samar. But I expect football Nanaimo to try to get Ben Saul out here in space, leak him out in the backfield again, and get back to the bread and butter of the run game and getting their athletes out in space.
I don't know. I don't believe the Seahawks were set. We saw a late flag down on the field here by the official.
Yeah, no, I think they were missing a second receiver coming to block as well. They were not ready for that play, and
it's going to be 6 men on the line of scrimmage, or I guess 4 men on the line of scrimmage for 9-man football.
Yeah, you know, this is Kevin Crampel's first year being a head coach at any level, so be interesting to see how he can compose his guys, especially, you know, we talked about the adversity this team had gone through all year with multiple coaching changes, losing his son, Lucas Crampel, broke his ankle, if I'm not fibula, and is actually cleared to play today as an emergency backup quarterback. So this team's gone through a ton of adversity, now up 2, but again, another player down, so be interesting to see how they want to play this 1st and 15.
I didn't catch the number. I believe, was it number 4? Isaac Pals for the White Rock Titans, who made his way off the field.
And you know, the interesting thing about this White Rock team is they're very skill position heavy, right? Their DBs are strong, their running backs, receivers are strong. You know, they're pretty light up front with their running backs playing DN.
See catch Hannah Baird in there.
A lot of space in that middle for runs. Here they come back again.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Seahawks go back to the well, but he's brought down. He's met in the backfield there by number 22. That's Joshua Espinoza.
Yeah, that was a great play. His dad's actually the D-line coach on this team, or at least has the same last name, so I'm making assumptions. But his dad played football in Santa Fe, Mexico City. He's been coaching multiple years in Mexico, and I also coached for North Surrey. So great play. 2nd and 15, right where you want to be for White Rock with 27 seconds left.
Yeah, it's you know, that play right there specifically worked out quite well, but it's odd that the Titans have really not adjusted much to this kind of attack from the Seahawks. They continue to line up in that 3-man front, be very light in the box, but we're able to make a play there.
Yeah, I mean, if I am White Rock right here, I'm forcing the ball to go to anyone but Ben Stahl and Will Lindsay. You know, I'm having a safety over top of Will Lindsay, and I'm telling my linebackers, key on Stahl out of the backfield.
Zach Dockery, number 0, checks into the game.
See, this is where they put Stahl out of that slot again. They tried running double seams with him and Will. There's a lot of space to that sideline as they motion Will over for a jet sweep.
They're actually going to try to go back across the other way. And the Titans' defense is all over things. Brock's just able to get rid of the ball. It's going to be an incomplete pass, but it's going to be third down. The clock's going to be stopped, and the Titans are going to get the ball back.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Brock didn't throw the ball. They had a screen set up for Zembelise out there, no one around him, and he just hesitated, and that could have been a huge play. There was a whole lot of green grass and blockers in front, but now they have to punt it away.
Huge win for the Titans defense. They give up no points, and they're going to get the ball back here. Pending a big return, they might obviously kneel it out, but if they can get any sort of yardage here, they might have a few cracks in the end zone.
Football Nanaimo's got someone onside.
Ball is returned. He has a lot of space to this left side. Zembelise meets him though and brings him down.
Yeah, Zembelise is built like a semi-truck.
What a ball player. A defensive lineman that makes his way down the field like that, hustling on special teams.
Yeah.
If coaches that are older, they're going to love seeing that.
That's not the last time we're going to say that last name this weekend too. Zembelise, Marco Zembelise is going to be playing in the Junior Bantam Championship tomorrow for the Southside Dogs, and you know those two brothers are very special athletes. What are you calling here, Cole? 9 seconds.
I don't think I'm going quite to the Hail Mary yet. I think if I can get a chunk, obviously in the CFL game, the clock will stop, so you will have another attempt to the end zone.
Yeah,
no Dockery once again, which is quite odd, but Yoseed, broken play, and Yoseed's going to be brought down just past the line of scrimmage by Zembelise.
Yeah, that's the second time him and Kanichana have been mixed up, and you know, what I tell players too is, you know, make sure the person next to you knows what they're doing. It's as much on you as it is them if they don't know what they're doing. And it's as simple as just telling each other we're going right or going left. And at this age, even if the defense knows what you're doing, it's better to make sure you know what you're doing.
Titans lining up what looks to be like a knee to end this first half. It is indeed Yoseed Fayez takes a knee.
Do you love to take a knee call there? Or?
I don't mind it. I think if you're able to get a positive play there on first down, that absolutely take a shot. But I think, as we said before, this is a massive win for this team. As we talked about the point differential between these two teams when they matched up before, the Titans are right in this football game, and the Seahawks are going to get possession first as they defer and the Titans start with the ball. So if you're Coach Fields, you got to go into the locker room, fire up your group, and remind them there's still 2 more quarters to play. That just because you're in it for the first half doesn't mean that you're going to be in it for 4 quarters. So it's going to be an interesting one. We have a good one though from Starlight Stadium as the Nanaimo Seahawks are up 14-12 on the White Rock Titans. We will be back after a short break.
And of course, we're going to get some calories, some sugar, and get that energy level up. nothing lights. He just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat of the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, time's picking it up. Let's go. You never really trust much, never concerned with status, but still even if starstruck. Humble through opportunities, living this right effect. The living this journey just makes a difference from right and west. Put it together myself, the picture connects. Never asking for some myself, and get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. As good as we go on reach, and now we're on the third. Skill like an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% gear. Be 100% clear, cause writing is ill. Who would have thought he'd be the one that set the Western brains? And I heard him record the big crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I'm like Bleach, man. All you had the stupidest verses, too, is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks for the who. I heard you fucking with best guys. 10% skill, 18% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. All around he's sick and he's spitting fiery mic. Got him out the dryer, he's hot. Got him in for mine over top of the fucking nihilist porcupine. He's the type where they wanna be with the rappers. Hope he gets 8 years and I'm making patiently waiting to flow. Now the record with your notice taking over the globe. He's got a partner in crime. His shit is equally dope. You won't believe the kind that comes out of this kid's throat. He's not your everyday on the block. He knows how to work when he's not making his hits at the top. He don't think it's a common on his name. That's the music. Even the person doesn't stand for that. But no, he's in the booth. To the mic in the booth. He'll get you more than quick and a shot of rocket with juice. Hitting this cool on the gram is one of the best. Dedicated to the big people. Nobody really knows how to ride. He works so hard, it seems like he's never got time, because he writes every joke, writes every line, and I've seen him at work, and not like it's on in his mind. It's like his design is written in his head every time before he even touches the key or speaks in a rhyme. And those other fellas he runs with the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How did he do it? It's 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
We're back here at Starlight Stadium between White Rock and Football Nanaimo. Football Nanaimo up 14-12. White Rock missed of PAT and then went for two and couldn't get it. We've got games around the province right now. John Barsby up 20-0 over Argyle with 2 minutes left in the first half of the junior varsity BC championship. So that is the same age group as these guys playing. Would be cool to sometimes see a community high school crossover. But it looks like White Rock is ready to kick off here as Football Nanaimo is going to start with the ball. Gregory returning. I think Gregory is actually going to be someone to look for in this second half as someone who Ben Stahl is getting a lot of love. Will Lindsay isn't quite in the game plan as much as you'd like. Alex Zembelise with a massive block there as well.
Seahawks, 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line here. We had a great first half. Hopefully we're able to build off it for this second half here.
Looks like Nanaimo 3 receivers on the boundary.
It's going to be a fake motion. Little slant pattern to Will Lindsay. And you can see early on maybe a slight adjustment there from the Seahawks offensively. Trying to go with a similar look. They give the fake jet sweep to Ben Stahl. And Brock Taylor fired over the middle to Will Lindsay.
Yeah, I'd like to see them continue just to mask their plays like that with similar motions. You know, have like 3 or 4 plays based on the same motion. Really not allow the defense to have any tells. And definitely want to get Will Lindsay in this game, especially with no safety help.
Yeah, it's a must. Ball is snapped once again. It's given to the tailback. He's running very hard, fighting for all the extra yards he can.
Yeah, you know, Peter Polak is a really strong running back. Like, they've got a two-headed horse here between him and Ben Stahl. Both very physical runners, get downhill. White Rock at a 2-safety shell. I think they might be expecting a little deep shot.
Brock in the gun once again, sending one man in motion to his left. The ball is delivered to Alex. He's dragging defenders, but then brought down after a first down is already picked up.
Yeah, there's that little mesh concept that Football Nanaimo coaches were talking about before the game that they wanted to use today. You know, get Zembelise underneath Ben Stahl on that little mesh concept, have them both go over in the middle and get them open in space.
Coach Chang barking in the play call.
Again, give Brock Samard easy throws as they go 3 wide receivers into the field here. Expect something coming back into the boundary.
Pelekis, the tailback. The fake is to Pelekis. Brock is brought down after a short gain on first down.
Yeah, that's Caden Kanichana again, making huge plays at defensive end. You know, he does not look like a traditional defensive end when you look at the guys on Football Nanaimo, Ben Stahl and Zembelise, but he's got a high IQ, making a ton of plays at the line of scrimmage.
Looked like it was Kachana and Baird, the running back D-end combo, combining for the tackle there. Kachana slowing him down, Baird coming in to finish him off. As you said, maybe not a traditional body type of a defensive end, but those guys have been giving their all game long here. Brock in the gun once again.
Got him. Oh, no.
And the ball is dropped uncharacteristically from Will Lindsay.
I'm not sure how there wasn't an offside call there.
It did look like he got, I believe, Baird to jump into the neutral zone. Maybe he possibly didn't get within that 1 yard. Definitely did look like it on the replay. Based off the replay,
Yeah, I'd have questions if I was Football Nanaimo. 3rd and long here. Looks like they are punting. You know,
it's like that's Campbell Benson coming into the game.
Yeah, number 14. I'm always interested. Oh, it's the long snapper. Let's go. They've got one man onside. You got Will Lindsay. It could always be a fake.
And Will's going to angle this punt out of bounds.
See, you know, I ran into this kind of play dilemma as well, you know, in our season. I remember you and Noah were giving me a hard time on the broadcast of, you know, it's like a 15-yard turn, field turn of events there, right? Rather than just trying to let your athletes go make a play. And I definitely think I'd rather go even like a screen pass to Ben Stahl or just throw it deep to Will Lindsay. The difference of being on your starting White Rock on their 30 or on the 40 just isn't that big of a difference compared to the option to get a first down.
I love the pull there, Sean. Fayez in the gun, waiting the snap, looking downfield, has a man, and it looks like it's picked off!
We do have a flag back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like that's number 3, Jacob Gregory, our second half player to watch, of needing to come up and make plays, and you know what? Fayez had
no flag.
Picked
So it's
up.
going to be Seahawks football after an interception. Great job by the Seahawks defense there.
Yeah, you know, Fayez had a guy open downfield, just couldn't get it far enough.
The Seahawks offense taking over. They gave this to Pelekis. Pelekis running over Titans defenders, his own teammates, trying to get out any yards he can. He stays on his feet.
You know, you'd like to see that O-line turn their feet, continue to churn their feet, push the pile.
Peter Pelekis has been one heck of a runner here.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's ran the
Very
same,
hard.
if not better than Ben Stahl today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, that's the nice thing, though, too, is like when you are using Peter Pelekis as the running back, you're able to use Stahl as the lead blocker.
Also, as we've already saw, Stahl, quite the weapon as a receiver, already has a receiving touchdown here today. Low snap! Brock's able to just jump on it, but now from a 2nd and short, it's going to be a 2nd and long. And this Seahawks offense, all out of sorts here.
No, they have the exact same dilemma here, right? 3rd and 9.
Do you go for it or do you punt it, Sean?
No, I like the decision to go for it, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. You know, if you are Kednich Hanna, I think when you watch this one back, you're going to kick yourself a little bit not seeing that ball on the ground.
Yeah, I think he had the possibility to recover this one. The offensive tackle or the blocker there, number 29, just had stepped up and might have blocked the view. Low snap for Brock. He gathers it. Going to get it out to Ben Stahl with a lot of room to work. There is a late flag with Ben Stahl on the sideline. He will score. Touchdown, Seahawks. It looks like the Seahawks bench is not celebrating. It's going to be brought back.
It's going to be brought back. Honestly, I didn't love the play call from Coach Jeremy Chang, but that's why I'm in the booth and he's on the field. It was a great idea to get Ben Stahl out in space there. You know, he's just so dynamic and even at that size, so fast.
Holding call on the Seahawks, taking off 7 points on the board. And going to back them up even longer. Campbell Benson into the game once again as the long snapper, and the Seahawks will punt.
Yeah, you guys are going to really kick yourselves there. Getting a touchdown, having it called back, now having to punt the ball away.
I think this is probably a more appropriate. You feel better a little bit about this part of the field punting, don't you think, Sean?
Absolutely.
It's just slightly out of that territory of being a little bit too close.
Yeah, and 3rd and 20 is a lot harder to convert than 3rd and 10.
Number 72 for the Titans. The great return.
I think you're going to get a block in the back there.
Which is a huge win here for the Seahawks. It's going to totally flip the field, back up the Titans into their own territory, and have them march the length of the field. If you're the Seahawks defense, I feel like you're pretty confident in your defensive unit to at least bend, not break, maybe allow a few first downs, but you're confident you can keep them out of the end zone. And
I think White Rock did a really great job in that second half of getting their athletes out in space and making easy throws for Fayez. And, I think they went to the well maybe a little too many times here to start this half of trying to take a shot right away. So I think they'll get back to their bread and butter of trying to get Baird and, Cadnish Hanna out in space.
Fayez in the gun.
Making some checks.
Comes out to Baird. Baird's able to catch it and just get to the line of scrimmage. He's brought down by Peter Palekas. Peter Palekas might be the best player on the field here today.
Yeah, he's having a very strong game. I think he might have been one of those guys that either was a finalist or played on Team BC as well.
He's been everywhere. The billing going into this one, rightfully so, was all about Ben Stahl, Will Lindsay, but Peter Palekas, not only offensively, defensively, he's been everywhere as well. It's going to be second down and 10. Fayez in the gun. Gets the ball, he's looking. It's going to air it down the middle of the field. It's caught! What a ball by Fayez! Drops it in the bucket right down the middle of the field. And this is going to take the Titans into great field position here.
Yeah, I think they actually ran that same play almost 3 times in a row here. Leaking the running back out and getting Kurnoff deep out there. And, that was there on the pick. And I think you go back to it. Again, I think the Seahawks, their backfield, they've got too many eyes in the backfield, and they're losing track of their man out in space.
Yeah, Luke with the phenomenal reception there, number 72 for the Titans. Give us to Baird. He takes it around the corner, up the sideline, and Baird will score for the Titans. Remarkable job by the Titans offense. And they're going to take it home from 50 out.
I'm not a snitch, but I think he might have stepped out there if we can watch the replay.
Touchdown!
No,
it's going to be close. It was close. We'll give the benefit of the doubt to the 2 referees who were down there on the sidelines, but based on that replay, and you can see it on the Jumbotron, it is close, but I think
that
you can see
right there.
You can see the green between his cleats.
Yeah, football Nanaimo. They sent a blitz on the opposite side, though. A great play call by White Rock. Great downfield blocking by the receivers. And, that Baird, he's incredible run and long speed for him to get down there and beat everyone to the end zone.
The ball is up and
19 unanswered points for White Rock here. Completely flipped the script.
We have a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. The White Rock Titans take the lead with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this third quarter for the Bantam 9-man provincial championship game.
We talked about it earlier. Kevin Crampel, first-time head coach. Probably some of their very first adversity here for this Bantam team. They won fairly easily over Comox in the Island Finals. How do you motivate the guys when they're down? How do you get the best out of this team for this last quarter and a half?
We talked about it with them before the game. They kind of sensed a little bit of that nervous energy down on that sideline for the Seahawks. Can they really change the momentum here, change the energy in their favor in this second half as the White Rock Titans have really took control of this football game? Catch Hanna has the ball on the tee. He kicks it off. It's down there to Ben Stahl. Ben Stahl going to try to set his team up in a good field position, but he's going to be brought down.
I'm really impressed with this White Rock's ability to tackle. They it's tough when Nanaimo gets out in space. It's tough to bring them down, but when they get hands on them, they are sure tacklers. I think we go back to the holding call. You know, they were up 14-12, just scored a touchdown on 3rd and long. Holding call to bring it back, completely flipped the script of this game.
I also got for me, the TSN turning point might have been the interception was by Des Burkett, who kind of really swung the momentum into the Titans' favor. A swing pass out to Will Lindsay, but that's going to be incomplete. This Seahawks offense, as I said a few minutes ago, all out of sorts right now.
Yeah, they just look a little bit chaotic. You know, you want them to calm, get an easy play, go back to the bread and butter, get those receivers lead blocking.
Still a lot of time to go, just under 4 minutes to go with 12 minutes in the fourth. Over 15 minutes of game time here still remaining. Brock gets the snap, he's looking down the field. He's going to swing it out to Ben Stahl, but he's going to be met. And he's not going to be close. It's going to be a 2nd and about 5.
Yeah, third down here.
They're going quick. Coach Chang trying to bark out some of the singles quickly to Brock to get his team to the line of scrimmage.
You know, they got to let the ball get set first. I think they're going on 2. He's been getting them to jump all day. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get them to go. Obviously a play they practiced.
Yeah, they're not going. You can tell by Ben Stahl's just body language.
Yeah.
Oh, they are going. They are. I believe that was a big miscommunication. I don't believe that ball was ever to be intended to be snapped.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I do not know. Yeah, I don't know what's going.
For the center.
I don't know what's going down on that offensive execution down there on the Seahawks sideline, but they are all out of sorts right now. I don't believe that ball was ever intended to be snapped. And then Brock throws it a few yards over his receiver's head. Wow.
If you were White Rock, you got to sniff blood in the water right now.
The tides have completely changed. As you said, if you're the Titans, you got to look not for the kill necessarily. There's a lot of time left, but to really swing things in your momentum, the pass is swung out and complete. The Seahawks miss a tackle. Peter Pelekis is going to bring down the receiver.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it, you know, at halftime, getting their playmakers the ball in space, and Baird is that playmaker right now. Continue to find creative ways to get him out in space and create leverage. That was a great play call. It was almost a pick play, but the ball was caught before the second receiver made contact. And again, it wasn't
number 88, Nicholas McCrank.
Yeah,
love that name.
McCrank.
Oh, it might be a part of the all-name team, but Nicholas McCrank making that reception, breaks one tackle, turns upfield for the first down. Fayez gave us to Catch Hannah, and he's brought down by Will Lindsay.
You know, some of the things I hate about watching some of this football sometimes is just grabbing the jersey and spinning. You know, there's not a lot of fundamentals in that compared to stepping and hip driving.
Bad habit, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, some things that, you know, need to be coached out of these kids as they get older.
It kind of did look like Will Lindsay attempted to break down, but didn't have his feet under him and kind of lunged with that. And when he lunged, had no other resort other than to try to grab the jersey and bring him down.
2nd and 15.
Try to pick up a few yards through the Titans here. Very aggressive front from the Seahawks. They do send a little bit of pressure. Ball swung out to Baird, and he's going to be brought down after little gain. It's going to be a 3rd and long.
I think that was Gregory there, and I really, really like Gregory's game. Coming off the edge there, reading the running back leak.
Is that Gregory who could be down on the field?
Yeah,
the Seahawks just can ill afford to lose another body here.
Looks like he just gets tangled up on that tackle.
Oh, it could be a cramp possibly as well?
Looks like he's holding his knee.
Could it be a calf cramp though as well? Hopefully it's...
Yeah, hopefully it's just hyperextended. Tough kid getting up right away.
Didn't look like anything necessarily got tangled up. Hopefully for the kid, it's nothing more than a cramp. Forgot to hydrate before the game. It's not hot out.
3rd and 15, trying to pin them within their own 10-yard line here.
And it's going to be a timeout Seahawks. They continue to be unorganized. I believe they're a man short.
Yeah, again, it's just one of
They
those things
are.
we talked about in that Pee Wee game, right? When guys get injured, it's like, how organized are you to have that next man up right away?
The communication from the coaching staff down into the players, right? So they know when a guy's down, they need somebody else to step up.
Right, like as soon as whoever focuses on special teams there, as soon as you see the guy go down, ideally you have a sheet with a depth chart of kind of next man up, right? And now we got to waste a timeout. So,
and still not into the fourth quarter yet. Those timeouts are going to be very costly as we move forward here. Reminder while we do have this little break, to purchase 50/50 from home, you guys can purchase that at rafflebox.ca/raffle/football-BC. Our last known update in the first half of the last game was at $2,400. Awaiting this Catch Hannah punt for the Titans. Catch Hannah receives the punt. He punts it away.
that was a good punt.
It's going to be caught in the air by Ben Stahl. Ben Stahl with a lot of room to this side if he can break a tackle. Big block by Will Lindsay, another one! Ben Stahl! And it's going to be a phenomenal return. We have 2 flags in the field. I don't know if I love them. I do believe they were all legal unless it's on another player. But wow, Will Lindsay with a phenomenal block.
I absolutely love. Yeah, that's a block from behind by 33 there. But the Will Lindsay block, absolutely love seeing your star receiver looking to get his nose dirty and get physical. That's some next level stuff. But again, just you cannot hit anyone coming back towards the returner, and that's a huge costly penalty there for Football Nanaimo.
Yeah, I believe that's Svein Bornson. Kyler Svein Bornson. Number 33, who was the guilty party on that one.
Yeah, and that's going to be all the way back to the 35-yard line. It's going to be 15 yards back, so Football Nanaimo is going to start back at their own 20. Again, just a discipline thing. We talk about special teams and talking about that run-by technique. Trying to run by, just get your back to the player's face and chest, not actually making any physical contact, just getting in the way.
It's going to back up the Seahawks tremendously. This is a difference of 40 yards in field position here. Costly penalty. Both sides in a one-score game have to remain as disciplined as possible. Never knowing which penalty call could be the worst, could be the most costly for either side as we approach the fourth quarter here. Seahawks making a late substitution.
In the game here for Nanaimo. Yeah, looks like Laird Rhymes out there running back.
And another drop by Will Lindsay, very uncharacteristically.
Yeah, that's tough.
Might have felt
over the middle.
Might have
feeling the pressure.
Like I was going to say there, might have felt the presence of the Titans defender who was in front of him, but a catch I've seen him make before.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get Will Lindsay the ball out in space towards the sideline. Maybe some deep outs, comebacks, some fade balls away from the safety.
The Titans have done a phenomenal job of keeping him under wraps.
Yeah, look at all that space towards the field here. Football Nanaimo trying to organize themselves again. Guys in new positions.
And they're going to go down the field. It's dropped in the bucket to Will Lindsay. Can he get up the sideline? Stiff arm! Will Lindsay stays on his feet and going to be brought down. Sean, the Nostradamus, looking into his little crystal ball.
Yeah, you just see so much field on that field side, especially on a 9-man game on this side of the field. And you got a kid like Brock Samar who can get the ball out there with that throwing arm. And, Wills is so dynamic. He's a good route runner. He's got a great frame and can get the yak when needed. So, again, I'd run the ball here again with Ben Stahl and Peter Polakis, but be ready to go right back to Will Lindsay out in space.
I believe it was Isaac Powell's, the Titans defender, who just tried to undercut it and misplayed the ball. It was Isaac Powell. He tried to undercut it And that's kind of the razor's edge you live on as a DB, Sean, right? If you undercut it and you miss, there's a lot of field behind you, and it's a very dangerous thing for your team.
Yeah, it's just the number one habit young DBs need to break is their eyes in the backfield. And you see that DB as he's trying to cover Will Lindsay staring at the quarterback, and you just lose track of the receiver. So you want to have incredible eye discipline, make a play on the ball, and it's a tough job to be one-on-one with one of the best receivers in the province.
We hear the Nanaimo Seahawks fandom who made the short travel down from Nanaimo on the Island Highway, cheering on their offense, encouraging them to score. Might want to just quiet down ever so slightly as the offense does approach the line of scrimmage, though.
Peter Palakis, a running back. Here they come.
The give is to Palakis. And he's brought down. There's some penetration there early.
There's McCrank again with a massive play.
McCrank. When his number's been called, he's stepped up to make a few plays here today.
The tackle goes up to second level, so that first receiver, that first puller needs to do a really good job getting out there, and it just did not look like Gregory knew his assignment.
I don't know if that was McCrank's responsibility, if he just triggered when he saw a run, but he just triggers immediately and comes downfield and is able to make the tackle there. Looks like he just triggers. Brock rolling out. He's looking for that goal line. He's going to find it, taking it for the Seahawks touchdown. Brock Simard putting the Seahawks back on the board, and it's 20-19 pending the extra point for the Seahawks.
You go for one or two here?
I think you got to go for one.
Just to make sure that it's not within a rouge?
Yeah,
I haven't seen White Rock been able to kick field goals, so that definitely plays a part in it.
For sure.
New kicker, or is that still Will?
It's still Will. Hold is down by Gregory. Kick is good by Lindsay.
If it came down to it.
That might have went over the net.
21-19, 11:57 left, or 11:07 left.
We were begging for a close game here to end day one of the Football BC Provincial Championship. And we have ourselves a phenomenal one here from Starlight Stadium. You can hear the crowd. Hopefully they can pick it up on the audio from the cameras. Terrific atmosphere here as the lights are on and both teams are playing to a very high level here on the field.
Yeah, we'll see what they dial up for Fayez this drive. They've had a lot more confidence. They've kind of abandoned the run even of, especially with how physical Nanaimo's D-line is. Again, just trying to work quick game and then take their shots when they can.
Little squib on Sider. A sneaky little one. Look, it was reined in by, was that number 0?
Yeah, that's
Dockery.
Dockery there. Gives White Rock great field position here, starting right at the center line.
Sneaky little onside kick there from Will Lindsay, who off the side of his foot just tapped it, and Dockery well prepared.
Interesting to see what Football Nanaimo dials up. They haven't done a whole lot of all-out blitzes, but I don't know if you want to as well with White Rock doing so much quick game.
He has kept lined up a receiver down here. Baez. Here's to Baird, and he's brought down right away.
Alex Dembele's again. A huge stop there. Part of the reason why White Rock has kind of abandoned the run. Obviously they had some success with Baird, but I think you want to get Baird out in space as best as you can.
Second and 11. Baez leading the troops to the line of scrimmage. He's going to be in the gun with Baird to his left.
No safety for football Nanaimo.
Another aggressive look for the Seahawks. Fayez looking downfield. And it's caught! Diaz-Paquette! Braden Diaz-Paquette!
Talking about a plethora of weapons, this White Rock receiving core, contested catch rating 99. These guys are going up and getting that football right now. Football Nanaimo needs one of these DBs to go up there and go make a play right now in this fourth quarter.
Zabarez and Diaz-Paquette have been unbelievable here tonight, pulling in multiple ridiculous catches.
Watch them try to leak out one of these running backs.
Fayez.
Ball.
Oh my goodness, Will Lindsay with a remarkable interception! Will Lindsay, I'm not too sure how he pulled it in.
You know, I'd like to see Fayez just sit.
Was that recovered? That might have been fumbled and recovered by the Titans.
One-handed by Will Lindsay.
This might have been fumbled, John, and recovered by the Titans.
White Rock football.
It is! What a play! Will Lindsay makes the one-handed interception. It's later fumbled, and it's going to be Titans ball.
That's one of the most chaotic plays I've ever seen.
What a play by Will Lindsay.
Football Nanaimo fans are not happy with the call. They think Will Lindsay was down.
Wow! My goodness, what a change of events! It's handed off to Baird. The play has happened, so it's going to stand.
It is going to stand.
Whether Seahawks fans like it or not.
Yeah, again, kind of going back to that one throw, though, I'd like to see Fayez let the play develop a little bit. It's just a little bit too just
Hope and a prayer.
Hope and a prayer. Like, if he can let that play develop, get that ball in front of the receiver, he's got no chance to make it.
He has talented receivers, and they are coming open for sure. It's just waiting that extra half second. Fayez going to be looking down the field. It's almost intercepted again.
Yeah, it looks like
I think that one Fayez would have liked to maybe step into that one. He kind of off the back-footed.
yeah, as they're becoming the DB as a receiver to make sure that ball's not picked off by River Kazawan.
We have the quarterback, Brock Samard, coming into the game to play a little defensive line.
There we go. Football Nanaimo parents are coming alive right now with these defensive chants, trying to fire the boys up.
Yeah, you can see a few of them down there on the sideline.
We'll see if he can get pressure here on Fayez. But again, one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Fayez,
Here they
big,
come.
has the play action, has his receiver, it's caught! And it's going to be a first down. Remarkable play call there by the Titans. Little play action, get Fayez out of the backside of the formation. And he finds his guy. Was that McCrank?
Yeah, that's McCrank. Yeah, I'd like to see White Rock continue to do this because Football Nanaimo is so aggressive on the play fakes, maybe even seal the end to create some space for Fayez outside.
Looked like a little slant with the out behind it. Got the corner to follow the slant route to open that out pattern, and there was a ton of open green grass.
Yeah, that's a great play call there.
Yeah, the entire Seahawks front seven all bought into the run, the play fake. Again with the play fake. Was this picked off? It was! Will Lindsay with another one! How he hung on to that one was amazing. He stays in bounds. He's going up the sideline with blockers. Fayez trying to stop him. Will Lindsay gasped. He stays on his feet. He's going to be brought down, but you can tell this kid is gassed. He does it twice. This time he holds onto the ball.
Yeah, I guess ball doesn't lie there for Will Lindsay. It looked like he was strolling through the park at the end of that. Incredible play by Will Lindsay to pick it off, and Football Nanaimo was knocking on the door to put this one away.
I have to see a replay of this. Will Lindsay, my goodness. I said it before, for my money, the best kid in BC at the bantam age level I've ever seen. I think it must have deflected to stay up enough time for Will Lindsay to make a play. I think it stayed up on both the McCrank and Gregory, the receiver and DB, and Will was right place, right time, was able to catch that football.
Yeah, he's got such strong hands there to come away with that. You know, if you're White Rock here, you gotta hold them. Hold them in this red zone. Even a field goal is okay at this point. Cannot allow a touchdown.
We give us to Ben Stahl. And Ben Stahl will walk in for the touchdown Seahawks.
That was a great quick hitter there by Football Nanaimo.
You can see Will Lindsay on his back trying to catch his breath. Remarkable job for the young man to set his team up. And Ben Stahl puts the exclamation point on that turnover, punching it in. Should we say Ben all day Stahl?
PAT, this is a massive PAT here. If you're White Rock, you have to try
Sell
and
out.
block it. Yeah, sell out to the block.
It doesn't look like Will Lindsay's actually going to be able to make it out, so we will have a little bit of circumstances that'll go into this one. Looks like, is that the injured number 20? Declan Lane. It's blocked! It's blocked! I believe that was Luke, number 72, the Titans player. You called it, Sean. They had to sell out for that one. They did so right there.
Yeah, 8-point game here. If you're a White Rock, calm the boys down. You know, understand. Be interesting to see if Will Lindsay will go back out there on defense right away.
He's gassed, you can tell.
You know, I'd like to see them continue to, with Fayez. I'd really like to see them get Fayez outside the pocket. You know, when he just drops back and just trying to get the ball deep downfield, they're kind of struggling.
A little bit of happy feet for sure.
Yeah.
I think when you roll them out, you also cut the field in half, right? It kind of makes it a little bit easier on the quarterback where you get those half-field reads. We've even seen Fayez kind of throw against the grain at times as well. So I agree with you there, Sean, but this is going to be a huge drive for the Titans to kind of slow this momentum down for the Seahawks as they put up 19 unanswered. Now the Seahawks have... What are we doing? My goodness! I have no idea if that was instructed or what happened there, but man, they surrendered 20 yards on the return there. Might have been 30.
Yeah, that's the one that, you know, you're, as a coaching staff, you're probably going to kick yourself if probably didn't talk about it beforehand or haven't seen it. You know, when your front level guys get the ball, you either just got to go down or just get upfield.
And maybe not explained, as you mentioned. Maybe they've never ran it before. They tried to pull something out where hey, let's do a throwback, and maybe not fully explaining it to his team. That's where I think coaching at this level comes increment to the success of these teams. It's going to be Fayez in the gun, Baird to his left. Fayez looking down the field. He's going to throw it down the field.
Off.
It's caught! It's caught by Baird! I have no idea how he pulled it in. It's a late.
I'm not sure how Grady Strobel or Gregory didn't come down with that.
There's a late
inside edge
flag. I don't know what it's going to be. If
this White Rock receiving core, and that ball's up in the air. They do everything they possibly can.
It's holding, Sean. Holding on the Titans. That's going to erase a massive gain for the Titans and back them up even further. How Baird hung on to that one through the contact, and Gregory had the better shot at it, I thought.
Yeah, this White Rock team is just shooting themselves in the foot again and again right now. 2 picks in the last 4 minutes of game time. The throwback on the kickoff, this holding penalty.
We've been treated to a phenomenal game here tonight. In our third and final game of day number 1 of the Football BC Provincial Championship weekend here from Starlight Stadium. Seahawks fandom starting to get loud once again. Fayez under center, Ace back behind him. Play action, he's going to be brought down for the safety! I think that's Alex Embelise! No, it's Ben Stahl!
Down at the 1.
My apologies, Ben Stahl.
Down at the 1 or the 2, second and long here. Or second and a mile to go.
Ben Stahl was asking for it, but The referee is going to rule that he was down at the 1 yard line.
Go Seahawks! Watch the foul!
Do you trust Fias to throw the ball deep here? If you know, a lot of these football line would be either playing outside shade, I'd like a deep post over the middle with no safety help, but you got to make sure those linebackers and other DBs aren't able to help.
It is right down the middle.
Will Lynch,
Well, he dropped it.
classic DB celebrating after dropping.
I meant to do it. I think if that was on 3rd down, it was, you could have definitely sold that you were meant to do it, but now that it's 2nd down, it will
Yeah, they're going to punt this one away.
result in 3rd down.
Can't take the safety either. Got to try to maintain the one-score game.
I was worried for the Seahawks' sake of things that there might have been a call there.
Titans facing 3rd and 4 now, bud. Cut team on the field.
Yeah, looks incidental, but definitely contact downfield.
If you're the Titans, you're definitely upset about that one. Titans punting out of their own end zone. It's not great off the side of the punter's foot. Will Lindsay's going to pick it up.
5
No yards as well.
I mean, I guess at that point you have to take the safety if that's what you're going to get out of your punt right at this level.
Yeah, you might have to consider that for sure next time.
If you can get it to even like the 35, obviously 40 behind, I love the idea of punting. But if you're working more like 20 and in, 25 and in, you don't want to make it a 2-score game. But at this rate, when football Nanaimo is now starting with the ball on the 15-yard line.
5 minutes remaining.
And that's going to get tacked on. So football Nanaimo's going to get the ball on the 6-yard line.
1st and goal.
First and goal.
They're going to be set up 1st and goal after the punt. I don't know how many times you could say that. Absolutely paramount for the Titans to find a way to get off the field without allowing the Seahawks to score touchdowns. To give this to Pelekis. He's met. Trying to be pushed by some Seahawks, but he's going to be not brought down, but the whistle's going to be blown.
Yeah, McCrank there again, making a play. White Rock has done well with their run defense, not as well as they'd probably like, but probably with their expectations coming into the game with running backs like Palakas and Ben Stahl, you're happy with how you've been able to handle the run game.
Will Lindsay out of the game. I think if you're the Titans, you have to
sell out on Ben Stahl.
Be comfortable in man-to-man and sell out. Bring everybody to stop that run. They go to the play action. Brock's going to look for the goal line, but he's going to be stopped as well. Didn't look like he ever looked quite comfortable.
No, I come after him again. Make Brock throw. There looks like they're going for a field goal.
They are.
Will Lindsay coming back in. A massive field goal here to make it a 2-score game.
Yeah, Campbell Benson, Will Lindsay. Special teams unit jogging their way onto the field. Huge that this 3-man unit of Benson, Gregory, and Lindsay get this executed and get the ball through the uprights here. Is Coach Chang going to ask if they want to go for it here and try to put this away? It does look like.
Just depends how much confidence you have in your field goal.
Yeah, it looks like the offense is coming back in.
What percentage you feel like it is that you can hit this compared to, going for it?
It looks like it's going to be a 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line, so that means they got to score.
What's your call here? You field goal or going for it?
I think you got to go for it and look for the kill, honestly. I think the field goal, it kind of leaves that crack open ever so slightly for the Titans. You put up another 7 here, and it's good night.
They go double receiver lead block to Palakas or Ben Stahl, or are they going double smash again?
I like the double lead block by the receivers. Getting the ball to Palakas. He's been the guy all day long offensively. Been their workhorse.
Yeah, those receivers are tight splits. To Lindsay on the line.
To the boundary as well, so they're coming in motion. They're going to give it to, no, they're going to fake it to Ben Stahl. Quarterback keeper! He's going to be brought down. The Titans are going to get off the field.
You know, I like the play call. Brock Samar is one of the biggest. You're probably your biggest back, and you know he scored on this line of scrimmage here already. But you know, White Rock just did not fall for the misdirection there.
They didn't. I don't mind the idea of the misdirection, but I mean, you know, Pelekis or Stahl. I think for me, wanting to get the ball into one of your go-to players' hands, but I don't mind the idea of trying to maybe use Stahl as a decoy and get a little bit of that misdirection. Ultimately, the Titans are not fooled.
Yeah, how are they going to get out of this one, though?
3.5 minutes remaining in this one.
The pass game has not been very strong downfield right now.
The Titans are going to have to march 107 yards.
I'd like to see them leak the running backs again, get them out in space.
Oh, I don't know what is happening to Fayez, but
Declan Lane there on the interception again. Just if you're football now, you're just sitting feet flat as a DB and just waiting for that ball to go up in the air.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. This Titans offense has really disappeared this last quarter and a bit, as they started out the third quarter very hot. 19 unanswered points, but some costly turnovers here in the fourth quarter, and the Titans desperately once again need to find a way to get off the field.
Yeah, I'd like to see the ball get back into Barrett's hands a little bit on space, like get him outside.
Play fake. And the Titans are able to get some pressure, and the clock is going to stop.
Yeah, this White Rock defense has really been shutting the door.
You have to tip your cap to this defense. Has done a phenomenal job with the amount of playmakers and weapons on the Seahawks side. This Titans defense has done their job here late in the ball game.
Yeah, I totally super interested to kind of see what Football Nanaimo does here. Right, they haven't really been able to pass the ball in that kind of deep shot to Bill. I think you want to go back to a bread and butter. Looks like Ben split out wide though. They usually don't motion in when he's out that wide a slot. They're going to leak the running back again.
Caught. And Ben Stahl is going to get in for the touchdown and put the exclamation point on this one. The Seahawks will take the 14-point lead with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
You know, it's tough to call Will Lindsay the best player in Bantam when you also have Ben Stahl on the team. He's been an absolute game record today.
And the kid runs so hard as well, breaking out of those arm tackles. This Seahawks team has so many players. You talk about Pelekis, you talk about Sembalese, excuse me. The ball is through the uprights.
Yeah, up 15 now, Football Nanaimo again. You're just going to play deep coverage, create a shell over top, force Fayez to throw it underneath and come up and tackle. And if Fayez wants to throw anything deep right now, I think Football Nanaimo is just going to be sitting on it.
I think we got to give a huge shout out to that Seahawks coaching staff for keeping their team poised. We were talking about it there. Some of the nervous energy that they felt, the 19-point swing by the Titans. They kept their sideline composed, kept them with even some of that unorganization with some of the substitutions and whatnot. They've stayed composed here, and their club has the 15-point lead and is in complete control of this one.
Yeah, I think you also need to tip your cap to White Rock with how they finished the season off as well. This game's not completely over, but to lose to this Football Nanaimo team by over 100 points in your first 2 games and to come out here and battle like this is extremely impressive to the growth that they've had this year. But it is CFL football. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I've learned that the hard way before. Largest comeback in BC Lions history. Unfortunately, I left that one early, Sean. I've learned the hard way to never leave a CFL game early. You never know what could happen, especially with under 3 minutes to go in our great Canadian game.
Yeah, and with the way these receivers have played, right? Like, again, just got to give them a chance to go get the ball, or again, trying to get Baird or some of these other guys out in space.
I think as well, if you're Fayez, right, we've seen some of these C balls is kind of the phrase that'll go around in the football world. If he can put a little bit more zip on the ball and get it to his receivers a little bit more instead of giving the defenders an opportunity to make themselves be in position as well, I I think will give the receivers even more of an opportunity to come down with it. We have the Titans in motion, going from right to left. A lot of pressure. He does get it off to Luke, number 72. Going to pick up a sizable gain on first down.
Ben Saul there on the pressure as well.
He was all over Fayez right away.
Yeah, I like that play call though. Get the ball out early for Fayez. You know, give him some options underneath.
Fayez bringing his receivers in motion left to right. He's going to get the snap. He's looking down the field.
Oh.
And it's going to be, I believe, a holding.
Yeah, I think he's just got to let that ball go there. It's sitting too long out there outside. And, you know, again, especially with Zembeliz and Ben Stahl and some of these guys getting pressure early.
Fayez slow to get to his feet. There's some flags down on the field in the area of holding as the trainers of the Titans attend to Fayez, who was looking for as long as possible for anybody downfield. Ultimately, it was a little bit too long, and he's brought down.
Yeah, starting quarterback Brock Samard there with the sack, playing nose tackle here, just to create a little bit faster of an athlete playing inside there to try to get some pressure.
Offense number 21. Coming to Klein. Third down.
It's going to be third down, Titans. Well, we have this short injury timeout. Probably a great opportunity to mention one last time here on our broadcast for day one of the Football BC Provincial Championship weekend. We will be back tomorrow for 3 great matchups. Starting at 11 o'clock, we move to 1:30 and 4. Starting at 11 tomorrow, we have the West Shore Warriors versus the Kamloops Broncos at the JB 9-man Provincial Championship level. At 1:30, we have the JV 12-man Provincial Championships between the Southside Dogs and Cloverdale Cougars. And then the finale of the weekend, we have the Langley Stampeders versus the Nanaimo Seahawks in the Midget 12-man Provincial Championships at 4 o'clock tomorrow from Starlight Stadium. We'll be right back here on the Football BC YouTube channel.
The Bantam Championship last year was playing in Football Nanaimo.
Yes.
A lot of these kids here on Football Nanaimo were on that Bantam team.
And the Titans attempted to go for it there and are unable to do so as catch Hannah. The ball falls incomplete and the Seahawks will take over on downs.
Yeah, minute 52, Football Nanaimo. You're just trying to run this ball out to close this game out. Who's your player of the game today?
I mean, I'm going to go with Peter Pelekis. I think one that, as we've both talked about, right? Ben Stahl, highlighted player. Will Lindsay, a highlighted player. Brock stepping in at the quarterback position after some injuries. I really like what I've seen here from Peter Pelekis, not only on offense, but defense. He's making some plays as well, and he's ran incredibly hard here today.
Yeah, I think that's a really great one.
The ball is given. Right side with a lot of room. Is that the man himself? Peter Pelekis will get rewarded with the championship touchdown and put his team up 21.
Wilson Shadur Sanders, perfect timing, really cool. Really great job by Football Nanaimo closing this one out. You know, kind of everyone eats mentality on this offense. There's so many guys that they can go to, and just too talented of a team for White Rock to kind of keep up with.
But got to give the credit to White Rock. They did their best they could to keep this offense down for 3.5 quarters until they broke out and put a 40 spot on the board. And they are a minute 39 away from cementing them as the 2025 Bantam 9-man provincial champions.
Yeah, you know, this is going to feel very good for a lot of the kids that were on the Bantam team last year that lost to Langley in this exact game.
Recognize a few names for sure. The Sembeliz, the Lindsays, Krempel, who was unfortunately unable to really play in this one due to injury, but some of those kids who were on this very field played in this tournament or this championship weekend last year, and were on the wrong side of this one. This year, kind of, in the off season, whether it's working out with Cage or the off season practices, you're remembering that feeling and not wanting to feel like that after a championship game. And they've worked hard and earned this moment here with 1:39 to go. A last chance to remind you guys as well, you guys can purchase 50/50 at rafflebox.ca/raffle/football-BC.
Yeah, this is a group that, trains extremely hard. Just for Alex Embelise to have the bench and squat that he does just shows dedication to the gym. Ben Stahl, obviously, extremely physical athlete. And that's the thing. I think just their physicality just wore White Rock down to where White Rock just started throwing prayers and couldn't quite stick to maybe their game plan or had to adjust their game plan due to the defensive line of Football Nanaimo.
We can see the trophies and banners being brought to midfield. It's kind of like the Stanley Cup approaching as we can feel the end is near here. The Seahawks will be crowned the Bantam 9-man champions. But the Titans, what a remarkable season for this program. We've already called 2 of their games here early on with the Adams, now with the Bantams here, so their program in good hands with some competitive teams. They're going to be 1-for-1 on the weekend, unfortunately. Catch Hanna with a one-handed catch at the snap. Remarkably athletic. He does it very nonchalant. The give is to the tailback, I believe that's Baird. He's able to pick up close to a first down, but incredibly athletic there by Catch Hanna. To corral that snap there.
Yeah, this White Rock team, again, has some great athletes, great skill positions, and a lot to build off of for sure for this program.
And they were right there for a majority of this football game. It's just unfortunate that things they weren't able to get a few more stops there in the fourth quarter. Things would have been different. It was just, a 21-19 game 10 minutes ago.
Another one-handed catch there. I'd like to see Peter Black as a wrap up there. A lot of guys still even at this stage just going for shoulder, right? Step to fit and wrap up.
Sean, how are we feeling after day 1 of our Football BC Provincial Championship weekend here?
Yeah, I think it's been a great day. I think the Island gets one back here in this game. Kind of the Island mainland rivalry in these games.
2-1 series lead now for the mainland.
Yeah, but it was good to see this game where it was extremely competitive. And there's some really great games tomorrow. With the heavyweight matchup with the midgets too.
Catch Hanna. The give is number 3. I believe that's Henry Jensen. Well, speaking of those matchups tomorrow, Sean, what are maybe a quick few things that you're looking forward to tomorrow, or maybe a quick matchup?
Yeah, I'm excited to see the roster for Cloverdale tomorrow, the junior Bantam level. A lot of the same guys I think that were part of the championship team last year. Southside is an extremely talented team. They got a lot of guys come over from Football Nanaimo and a lot of really great players, and Jaden Ellington, Marcos Embelise. And I'm just excited for that matchup. The midget one should be a heavyweight. I'm excited to see Langley if some of those Bantams moved up, like that quarterback-receiver duo we saw last year. And that Football Nanaimo midget team is similar to this Bantam team. Is going to have a salty taste in their mouth from the year before losing in his first.
And I believe that's Lucas Krempel into the game to take the final knees. What a feeling that's got to be. The starting quarterback going into this one.
Yeah, it's a really nice gesture there by the coach and staff. Awesome feeling for Kevin Krampel, his dad too. First-time head coach to walk away with the championship.
Especially after all the adversity, the animosity that they went through this season. To finish it off with the provincial championship has got to feel remarkable. See Jacob Gregory already wanting to celebrate with his team. Referee's telling him, hey, we got one more down to play here, buddy. And Lucas will take the final snaps of the game. And the Nanaimo Seahawks will be your Bantam 9-man provincial champions. As we've done for the previous 2 games, folks, make sure you guys stick around. We'll be having full coverage from the award and presentation, award ceremony. We'll stick around for all the medals, banners to be handed out to the captains of the Seahawks. And then, of course, MVPs, sportsman players of the game, all of that good stuff. Sean, of course, we've talked about the Seahawks now, rightfully champions, but what do you got to say for the Titans? Excuse me.
Yeah, I think for them to grow this season, come out this game and compete the way they did, just shows a lot of how this coaching staff gets from the buy-in. Beating a very tough Howison team in the semifinals, and for them it's just about hitting the gym, doing the recipe of 5-6 days a week in the gym on field, and understanding that to win a championship it takes a ton of preparation, it takes a ton of off-season work, and you just got to put your nose in the grindstone and come back ready to go next year.
Yeah, as I said earlier, 2 of their programs have already played here in this weekend's action, so the program is in good hands. But Sean, we're very familiar with the Nanaimo Seahawks coaching staff and the program from top to bottom. What do you got to say about them being able to award them with a championship here?
Yeah, this group has been really strong, over the last couple of years, and I think they've just really stuck together really well, and deserve a championship like this when you go through what they've gone through, and to still come out and play together and play for each other, no matter who the head coach is really special.
Yeah, it's phenomenal for the football Nanaimo community to have another strong program along with the Southside program to kind of build that Pop Warner foundational side of football here in the city, and being able to grow it from the grassroots on up to continue these players. Hopefully they're able to play into the high schools, whether it's at Barsby, whether it's at ND, continue to play even if it's at football Nanaimo at the community level as well, to work their way up and to build that strong, rich tradition in the Harbor City. So, Sean, do we want to give you, who was your game ball? I didn't ask, did I? I went with Peter Plekis.
I can't decide. Between Ben Stahl and Will Lindsay, those 2 game-breaking plays, like Peter Plekis deserves it as well. I think Ben he's a game breaker in my mind. Like Will had an incredible game, but just the pressure he put on Fayez all day, forcing him to put up those prayer balls, and basically finishing the game out as the running back with multiple touchdowns, and the physical ability he has to take over a game was special. So he'd be my game ball today.
As the players are doing their final handshakes, got to give a few shout outs to the White Rock Surrey Titans. As you look at Catch Hanna, Diaz Paquette, Zabarez, Baird, phenomenal playmakers, phenomenal program moving forward. So last few reminders before we get out of here for day 1 of the Football BC Provincial Championship weekend. We will be back at 11 a.m. tomorrow when the West Shore Warriors take on the Kamloops Broncos, followed by the Southside Dogs taking on the Cloverdale Cougars at 1:30. And then the last game of the weekend will be the Langley Stampeders versus the Nanaimo Seahawks. Lastly, you guys can purchase 50/50 throughout the night and all day tomorrow before it'll be announced during the midget game at rafflebox.ca/raffles/football-BC. That's going to do it for day 1 from Cole and Sean. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
It is my pleasure to introduce the president of Football British Columbia, Mr. Kevin Parks.
Good evening, everyone. As Adam said, I'm Parks, the president of Football BC. I love my job because I get to come out and watch games like that. That was fun to watch. Give these players a big hand, everyone. I got some thanks to get through. I always call someone out on our team. Without this team here, we could not make provincials happen. So first of all, thanks to all my team. Give them a hand for making this weekend successful. And I always call out one person. We have a new member of the team this year, and not a lot of people get to see this position. But over in the commissioner tent, she kept that sideline rolling all day long. So thank you, Sherry. Welcome to the team. I've always called myself a coach's president, and I came up with this a few years ago. And I would like to call out the head coach for Nanaimo to come get the game ball. Okay, we have our first award here. The Sportsmanship Award is going to Nanaimo. Peter, number 21, Peter.
That, of course, being Peter Lagas.
And our MVP for White Rock is number 28, Braylon Mark. And our MVP for Nanaimo is number 11, Will Lindsay. All right, if I can get the captains up here for the banner and the trophy, please.
I'd like to point out that there will be 2 banners and 2 trophies awarded, not just the Football British Columbia Provincial Championship hardware, but also the Vancouver Mainland Football League Championship hardware.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand for Bantam, Nanaimo Seahawks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're all dying to get down on the field. Just hold on a couple more minutes. Once medals are handed out and awards are done, we will get official pictures for the Football British Columbia website. We'll have the Seahawks down in the east end zone, Titans down in the west end zone. After pictures, you'll be invited onto the field, celebrate with your kids. Everybody up on your feet. Let's give the White Rock Titans a big round of applause for a great season.